Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Bhava Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Gopi Jana Gopi Jana Bhava Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Gopi Jana Jasaranana Brajajanana Nana Brajajana Jasaranana Brajajanana Yasaranana Yamuna Tiramanachari Yamuna Yamuna Tiramanachari Yamuna Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Bhava Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Gopi Jana Bhava Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Gopi Jana Yasaranana Brajajanana Yasaranana Brajajanana Yamuna Tiramanachari Yamuna Tiramanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Gopi Jana Bhava Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Jasaranana Brajajanana Yamuna Tiramanachari Jaya Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Asatara Satashi Śrīmad Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Shri Gaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gaur Gopinath Shai Mukunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai Vrindavan Dhama Ki Jai Mathura Dhama Ki Jai Navadvip Mayapur Dhama Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dhama Ki Jai Gangamaya Jamuna Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Gaur Premanande All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pacharani Nirvase Susunyavani Paskachade Siddharane Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahita Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Panchakalpatribhascha Kripasindavyavacha Patitanam Pavanavya Vaishnavya Namo Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. January 5th, 2019 in Chennai, and we're reading from Canto 10, Chapter 70, Lord Krishna's Daily Activities. We're going to read 31, 32, and 33. So 31 is on the board. Duta uvacha iti magada samruda bhavadarshana kankshina prapanapada te Jinanam sham vidyatam. Please chant. Dhruta uvacha, the messenger said, Iti, thus, Magadha, by Jarasandhar, Samruddhaha, imprisoned, Bhavat, of you, Darshana, for the sight, Kankshinaha, anxiously awaiting, Prapanaha, surrendered, Pada, of the feet, Mulam, to the base, Te, your, Dinanam, to the pitiable, Sham, benefit, Vidhiyatam, please bestow. So this is the end of the message given by the messenger from the kings imprisoned by Jarasandhar. Translation, the messenger continued, this is the message of the kings imprisoned by Jarasandhar, who all hanker for your audience, having surrendered to your feet. Please bestow good fortune on these poor souls. This is really nice prayer. I was thinking, reading this, the last 3 lines are something that we could learn. You know, Bhava Darshana Kankshinaha, I am anxiously awaiting for your darshan. Prapanam Padamulam Te, I am surrendered to the bottom of your lotus feet. Dinanam Sham Vidhiyatam, to this very poor soul, you please give your mercy. Such a nice, huh? There's one of the 9 processes of devotion is vandanam, or prayers. And of course we can say our own prayers, but we are also encouraged to repeat the prayers that we find in the Shastra. So, of course, the first line wouldn't apply to us because we're not imprisoned by Jarasandhar. So we wouldn't say that, but the second, third, and fourth lines here are very, very nice. Why don't we sing just those together in Sanskrit? Is that all right? All together. Bhavan darshana kankshina prapana padamulante dinanam sham vidhiyatam. Very nice. Something, if somebody wants to memorize something, that's Or you could memorize the English. Please give me your darshan. I'm anxiously awaiting for your darshan. I've surrendered to the soles of your lotus feet. I'm very poor and pitiable. Please give me your mercy. Okay, there's no commentary. None of the acharyas commented on this, so we'll read text 32. Shri Sukuvacha Rajadute Pruvatyevam Devarshi Paramam Duti Bibravat Pingajata Baram Pradurashidyata Ravi. Sukadeva Goswami said, when the king's messenger had thus spoken, the sage of the demigods Narada suddenly appeared. Bearing a mass of golden matted locks on his head, the supremely effulgent sage entered like the brilliant sun. So, right after they get this message from the kings, then another messenger comes. Narada comes. Anything surprising about this description of Narada? Anything about this description that you find interesting? Golden, he had golden hair. Usually in the paintings, he's shown as having black hair. But Bhagavatam says he has golden hair, matted golden hair, and he looked like the sun. It's very bright. So I think sometimes there's this idea that all these liberated souls look like Indians. You know? Just like, the Europeans worship Jesus, so they made him look European. Who knows what he actually looked like? If he came from the Middle East, he probably looked Middle Eastern and not European.
Indian has black hair.
Yeah, so usually they show Narada with black hair. In the paintings, yeah? They show with black hair. This is called Atmavan Manyate Jagat, think everybody is like you. Actually, the spiritually liberated souls are all different colors. In this world, we really only have one color, just different shades, It's just melanin, and you have more or less. I mean, I'm not really white, This is silly. But spiritually, they have all different colors. All different color of skin, all different color of hair, so many things. Okay, on to 33. Tam Drisva Bhagavan Krishna Sarva Lokeshvara Sarva Lokeshvareshvara Vavanda Utita Shirshna Sa Sabda Sanugo Muda. Lord Krishna is the worshipful master of even planetary rulers like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. Yet as soon as he saw that Narada Muni had arrived, he joyfully stood up along with his ministers and secretaries to receive the great sage and offer his respectful obeisances by bowing his head. Purport. This translation is based on Srila Prabhupada's Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The word Muda indicates that Lord Krishna was delighted to see that Narada had arrived. So here we see the Lord is showing ordinary etiquette. I mean, we stand up to see the Lord, right? The curtains open, we stand up. It says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, anyone who stands up for the Lord's procession can go to Vaikuntha. But here the Lord is standing up for the devotees. His devotee comes, he stands up. And then we bow down to the Lord, we stand up, and then we bow down. Sometimes devotees don't do that. Sometimes the curtains open immediately, they bow down. But if you see any videos of Prabhupada, you'll see first he stands up, greets the Lord, and then he bows down. So to stand up and then bow down. So why is Krishna doing this with Narada? Krishna is the Supreme Lord, Narada is his devotee. Why is Krishna standing up for Narada and then bowing down? Any ideas?
Actually, it's mentioned previously that Krishna is acting like a human.
He's acting like a human. So, can you explain that a little bit more? Why acting like a human would mean that he stands up and then bows down to Narada?
And he's setting some example so that others can follow it.
Yes, because externally Krishna is in what varna? He's Kshatriya, and Narada is Brahmana. So, of course, many times the Brahmanas worship Krishna and Krishna accepts. Even in Krishna's incarnation on this planet, many times the Brahmanas would worship him and Krishna would accept their worship. This fact was very confusing to the son of the king of Kashi, Sudakshina. So you know this story? So Pandraka, he thought he was God. He had actually a benediction from Lord Shiva that he could dress up like Vishnu. So he dressed up like Vishnu, and he stuck on 2 artificial arms even. You know, and he made imitation Kaustuba jewel, imitation helmet. Imagine if some, Bollywood actor dressed up like Krishna and what came in and then said to all of us, okay, now you worship me. Take the deity off the altar and you worship me. So this is what Pandraka said. He said, you worship me. And the king of Kasi was his friend. So when Krishna refused, Pandraka said, you must give me your name, you must give me your weapons, and you must bow down to me. And Krishna says, I will not give you my name, I will give you my weapon to cut off your head. He said, and I will not take shelter of you, rather you will become the shelter for the jackals on the battlefield. So there was a fight. And in the fight, the king of Kashi was killed. Both were killed, Pandraka and the king of Kashi. And the head of Kashiraj was thrown over the wall of the city of Kashi. And so everybody went and who is this head? Because that morning, Kashiraj had told his queens, I will give you Krishna's head. So when they saw this head, they thought, oh, it's Krishna's head. And then they looked, oh, this is our king. So the king's son, Sudakshina, was very angry. He decided, Krishna has murdered my father, which is complete rubbish because it was a battle. It's not murder in a battle. And Kashiraj and Pandraka had started the battle. Krishna didn't start the battle. So Krishna was just defending his city of Dwarka. But Sudakshina said, Krishna's murdered my father. So he got this instruction from Lord Shiva, you can employ these black priests, black tantra. And so he was also told this will be very effective to kill your enemy on one condition. Your enemy cannot be a Brahmana, and your enemy cannot be favorable to the Brahmanas. So Sudakshina thought, that's very good. Krishna is not a Brahmana, he's a Kshatriya. And Krishna doesn't like the Brahmanas very much because he lets the Brahmanas worship him. He thought, what proper Kshatriya allows the Brahmanas to worship him? This is not right. So Krishna is not a friend of the Brahmanas, therefore I will be able to invoke this demon to kill Krishna. Of course it didn't work. The demon went to Dwarka. Krishna was playing some game, and he looks at Sudarshana and he says, you take care of this. And Sudarshana went and he sent the demon back to Kashi, and the demon killed Sudakshina, killed these Tamagun priests, destroyed the city. But anyway, the point here is sometimes Krishna lets the Brahmanas worship him. And sometimes he acts like a Kshatriya. Sometimes he's acting like God. I am God, the Brahmanas can worship me. And sometimes he's acting like Kshatriya. I am a Kshatriya, I will worship the Brahmanas. Whereas we see this with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Also, generally he acted like a devotee. But sometimes he acted like Vishnu. Sometimes he sat on the throne of Vishnu, and for 21 hours everybody was worshipping him, and he manifested a form of Vishnu. So even though Krishna has his human-like pastimes, sometimes he acts like God. Therefore we should be very careful to imitate. But here he is acting in his human pastimes. I am a Kshatriya, this great Brahman has come, and I will receive him. But what's most important here is the word muda, that he was very joyful to see Narada, even though Sarva Lokeshwareshwara, even though he is the controller of all the Lokeshwaras. Lokeshwara Ishwara. He is the controller of the controllers. Like we say, Ishwara Paramaha Krishna. He's the supreme controller of the controllers. The first time that I saw Srila Prabhupada was sitting on the Vyasa-san. This was in Chicago. And he was saying that we are all controllers. Of course, not very good controllers. Otherwise, you wouldn't be falling asleep. Or maybe I am very boring. But I don't know how to become more interesting. I could speak faster, but then you wouldn't understand my English. So if I speak more slowly, you tend to feel sleepy. What to do? So we have difficulty controlling this body, isn't it? When we are tired, body's going like this. But we have some little control. We can control if we fast or we eat. That we can control. We have little control. Maybe we are controlling our wife or our children. Maybe. That is debatable. Now more and more Indians, they are trying to control a dog. Maybe we can control the clothes in our shelf. So we're little controllers, and then above us are controllers. We have the government, right? We have the demigods. And Prabhupada is saying, when you go to the controller over whom there is no controller, that is God. So he is the controller of the controllers. He's the controller of the controller. He can control even the great demigods. So why would he have someone who can give him joy? If you are the controller of the controllers of the controllers, you can get whatever you want. Who can give you something joyful? Even if you wanted to give something to some very rich man, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, what can you give them? Isn't it? I'm going to buy them a gift for their birthday that will make them happy. How will you do this? Whatever they want, they already have. What to speak of God? So anything he wants to become happy, he has immediately. Just by thinking of it. He doesn't even have to think immediately. It's there. It's already there. He's already the owner of everything. Oh, if I could control Brahma and Shiva and Indra and Vayu, what would I lack? Who could bring me any joy? And Krishna is the source of all joy also. Satchidananda Vigraha. All joy is coming from him. So how is it we can bring him joy? There is a saying in the UK, it's like bringing coals to Newcastle. So in Newcastle, they are mining coal. And if you bring coals there, what is the point? Or we say, offering Ganges water to the Ganges, or offering a lamp to the sun. What can you give? But still, we see here, Krishna is feeling joyful upon seeing Narada Muni. So why? Anybody have some idea? Why is Krishna feeling joyful? So he's standing up and bowing down, not only because he wants to set a human example, that is there, but also because he is so happy.
There is a reciprocation somewhere.
There's some reciprocation, yes. When we see somebody that brings us joy, we tend to automatically stand up, don't you? I mean, we stand up to show respect. Somebody comes, they are senior to us, elder to us. So we were taught by our mommy and daddy when we were very small, you stand up, and then you bow down. Like I see in India, you are very careful with your children. Stand up, bow down. We're teaching them, I see, from a very young age. So we are taught like that. But also we do that automatically if we really like somebody. Isn't that a fact? Yes. We don't have to be taught by mommy and daddy. Somebody enters your room, your house, and they bring you joy, you stand up immediately. And you may fall at their feet, you may embrace them depending on the relationship. So Krishna is also standing up here to see Narada because he is so happy. So how does one bring happiness to the source of happiness? Because this is our process. Our process is we're supposed to please Krishna. This is the definition of bhakti given by Rupa Goswami. Anyabhilasita sunyam gyanakama anarvatam anukulena Krishna anushilanam bhaktir uttamam. That we're supposed to be trying to please Krishna, anukulena. And this trying to make Krishna happy, this is the essence of pure bhakti. If you look at all the parts of the definition of bhakti, you will see that if your intention is to please Krishna, everything else is actually taken care of. If you are trying to please Krishna, you will not have any selfish desire. If you are trying to please Krishna, you will not be covered with karma and yoga. If you are trying to please Krishna, you will do behaviors, mental and physical. And if you are trying to please Krishna, you will follow the previous acharyas. So this anukulyena is the most important word. But how do you please the person who is the source of pleasure? How is this done? So again, if we look at this verse from Rupa Goswami, we will understand. Anyabhilasita shunyam. You don't have any ulterior motive. Like Manu Maharaj was speaking about the other day, these kings with the messenger, they had some personal motive. Understandable, if I was in prison, I would also want to get out of prison. I mean, we're not criticizing them. I'm sure if I was in prison, I would also be praying, please Krishna, get me out of prison. That's natural. But it is a selfish desire, yeah? If I go to you because I want something from you for myself, that's not pure love. We all recognize this. And this is a problem for people who are very opulent. My parents were extremely wealthy, and this was always a problem for them. They were very wealthy, very famous, that they would always wonder if somebody was being their friend, if they had some motive. That is one reason why wealthy, famous people like to be friends with other wealthy, famous people. That's one reason. There's other reasons, but that's one. Because then they can relax. They think these other people, they already have enough money, they already have enough fame, so they don't need anything from me. Huh? And even for each of us, we may not be so wealthy, so famous, but if somebody's coming to us to get something, it's not pleasing, is it? Oh, you just want something from me. Actually, just happened to me the other day. So I have 14 grandchildren, and sometimes they write me just to say hello, but usually not. You know? Usually I have to write to them. So the other day, one of them contacted me. Oh, hi, Bo, Grandma, how are you doing? How is everything? Just to talk, and I was so happy. I thought, oh, my grandson is writing me just to have a conversation. And then he says, oh, I'm going to take prasadam, I'll be back. Okay. Then he came back, he says, Grandma, I want to ask you a favor. Like, oh. He had left something in the Calcutta airport. He knew I was going to Calcutta airport. He said, when you go there, can you go to the Lost and Found and get it for me anyway? And I said, you know, it would be nice if you would write me when you're not looking for something. You know, when he first wrote me, I was very happy. Oh, one of my grandchildren is writing me just because he loves me, you know. But it was not like that. So Krishna doesn't feel so much joy when someone comes to him like that. I mean, still I was happy he was writing me. It didn't ruin everything, you know, it was still nice. But it wasn't as nice. You understand? It wasn't so nice. So when we go to Krishna because we want something, Krishna still's happy that we go to him. Sarvakama, Mokshakama, Akama, Udaradi, the intelligent person, even if they have Sarvakama, all desires, we should go to Krishna. Krishna would rather that we go to him than that we go to somebody else, or that we try to do it ourselves. He's happy for any relationship with us. But it doesn't give him so much joy. I mean, this doesn't mean we should pretend. We should, oh Krishna, I have no material desire, but actually I do, but I don't really. That's not pleasing either. Krishna wants honesty. The other day, some devotee was talking to me and said something and was disturbing. And I said, oh, I feel very disturbed when you say this. And the devotee said, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't tell you these things. I said, well, I don't want you to lie. So we don't want that either. We don't want people to tell lies to us. Right? So Krishna doesn't want us to lie to him. Oh, I have no material desire. I only want... And he sees our heart. Immediately he knows this is not true. He says, I know what you really want. You really want that car, and you really want, you want all the devotees in the temple to respect you, and you want that gulab jamun, and I know what you really want. So he doesn't like lies either. But if we really want to bring joy to Krishna, we need to come to the point, honestly, where we are with him just to be with him. At least sometimes we should try for that. Even if we cannot do it all the time. Even if there are many times that we're saying, Krishna, could you give me the gulab jamun? And I love you too. At least sometimes we should practice trying to be with Krishna just for Krishna. Especially like our japa time, kirtan time. Times like this we should be practicing, let me be with Krishna just for Krishna. At least to practice. This is the idea of sadhana bhakti. I think we can do this, yeah? Even if there's somebody we want something from, maybe sometimes we can be with them without that in our mind. And just be with them. So that will make Krishna very happy. Even if it's just a moment where we just want to be with Krishna for his happiness. And anytime we can practice this genuinely, if we can cook for the deities and we're not thinking I'm going to eat the prasadam later, anytime we can serve the devotees like that. Generally also when we serve the devotees we want something. We want them to notice us and to say, oh, very nice service you've done. If they don't notice us, we become disturbed. Right? We want them to praise our service. I was in one temple a few months ago where the people who cooked and the people who served me prasadam were different. So the cooks would bring the prasadam and then someone else, and then they would leave. So the people who were serving the prasadam, I could actually say to them, I like this, I don't like this, because they didn't cook. So they served me this, oh, it's terrible thing. I was like, oh. So later that day at the program, the person who actually cooked came up to me. Oh, I cooked for you today, lunch. I said, oh, thank you. And then I was thinking, what nice thing could I say? I said, oh, that sabji, it was really just wonderful. It was. And then she said, what about the salad? And then I was like stuck. I didn't know what to say. It was so bad. It was just, you took one taste, it was, and I just didn't know what to say. And I thought, I don't want to lie, but I don't want to be honest. So I pretended I did not hear her. And I just said, I really appreciate that you cooked for me. And that sabji was wonderful. And again she pressed, what about the salad? I said, I didn't like it so much. I didn't tell her how bad it was. It was really bad. I just said I didn't like, and immediately she was just like, she started crying, and I'm like, oh my God. So this is not anyabhilasita shunyam. So many times, even with the devotees, we want to get something. We want to get that they've praised us. We want to get they recognized us. Or even we want to get some benediction from them. Oh, if I serve this devotee, they'll bless me and then I can go back to Godhead. My liberation ticket, you know. Well, that is not Anyabhilasita Shunya. So again, it may be difficult, not that we should do artificially, but we should try to practice, because that is very pleasing to Krishna. Then Jnana Karma Anavritam. So Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyan Yoga, this should not cover our bhakti. Because as soon as this covers our bhakti, then we are thinking, I am going to attain prema and going back to Godhead by my own effort. Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyan Yoga, they all have some atmosphere of kartahamiti manyate. I am doing this. I am giving away the fruits of my work. I am a great philosopher. I am a great meditator. These are bona fide practices of yoga, and they're suited for certain people. We're not saying these are not bona fide, but even these systems, without some bhakti, they don't work. There has to be some mercy. It's always like that in a personal relationship. If I want a relationship with you, you have to agree, yeah? I cannot, there's nothing mechanical I can do. There's no system I can do to force a relationship. Isn't it? You know, if you want a girl to love you, you can send her diamonds and flowers, but she may not agree. She may agree, she may not agree. That's what it means, the personal relationship. So of course we do activities like that of Karma Yoga. We give up the fruits to Krishna. We do activities like Jnana Yoga. We study philosophy. We do activities like Dhyan Yoga. We meditate. Prabhupada says with the Gayatri Mantra we meditate. Even the word is Dhimahi. Prabhupada said our japa is also Smaranam. Japa is not Kirtanam, Smaranam. So we are doing all these things. But the mood is bhakti. The mood is not Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyan Yoga. The mood is like this verse. Please give me your mercy. I am poor, I am fallen. Not that, oh, I have done so much sadhana. I have chanted so many mantras. I have distributed so many books. I've waved so many sticks of incense. Mercy, mercy, come on, come on. No, I'm very poor, I'm very fallen. I've never done any devotional service. Superficially, okay, but not actually. What have I done? You know, I become so proud. Today I was able to find a gardenia to offer my Giriraj. Oh, I've offered a gardenia. But what does Krishna care? He has whole gardens of gardenias. So not covering our bhakti with these other processes which deny the aspect of the personal relationship, which make it about that I can force Krishna. So the material desires are, I'm with you not exactly because I love you, but because I want to get something from you, and being covered by these other things, it's, I can force you. I can do something that will force you. You know, we do this in our human relationships. You know, your wife is angry, you bring her some flowers, and if she's still angry, then you get very frustrated. I brought you flowers, what is your problem? As if our flowers can force. You understand? We're thinking, so if we think like that, Patram Pushpam Palam Tvayam, I brought you flowers, I brought you gulab jamans. Come on, what is your problem? So this mood of forcing, bhakti is not a mood of forcing. So if we do that, and to know what pleases Krishna, of course. We have to know what pleases Krishna. And my dear friends, that can be very subtle. It can be very subtle. There's subtle anarthas involved with what we believe is pleasing to Krishna. And as we advance in bhakti, we will get revealed more and more and more that some things we think are pleasing to Krishna are actually not. There's something wrong with the mood and something wrong with the behavior. And I will promise you that you will see this as you advance in bhakti. You will be doing something maybe for many years. Oh, this is very much pleases Guru and Krishna. And then one day, the Lord will show you, you know, this is actually not so pleasing. So we learn from Guru, we learn from Shastra, we learn from the Lord in the heart. What is it that will actually please Krishna? And when we deal with like that with him, he will feel joy. Just like when Gopakumar goes back to Godhead, and Krishna is so excited, and he runs to him and embraces him. And then Krishna faints in happiness. You know, we think we want the ecstatic symptoms, like Mahaprabhu was saying, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? So Krishna also wants the ecstatic symptoms with his devotees. Krishna's joy is always increasing. So when Krishna sees a devotee like that, who just loves him, there's nothing duplicitous. And then Krishna feels very happy, and he runs to embrace the devotee, and he faints in ecstasy. So this is the kind of devotee we want to be. How can I make you happy? And this can be our meditation throughout the day, with everything we are doing. It's a very easy meditation. How can I do this so you will be happy? Whatever we are doing. You are picking flowers, you are at your job, you are taking care of your children, you are driving your scooter, you are taking a bath, whatever you are doing. How can this make you happy? When we are taking prasadam, we can be thinking, how can my taking prasadam make you happy? You were thinking, how is my eating prasadam going to make Krishna happy? But we are all part of Krishna's body. You know that? The big universe is Krishna's body. We are part of his body. So when these cells in my skin, when they eat, I am also happy, isn't it? Yes? If my heart is nourished and my skin is nourished, my lungs are nourished, then I am happy. You are happy, yes? So Krishna wants us to be nourished. I am eating for your happiness. I am eating this prasadam to make you happy. Everything that we do. Getting dressed in the morning, going to work, working at our job. How can I work at this job so you will be happy? And then finally, we can also become joyful upon seeing the devotees. We should become joyful upon seeing the Lord. We should not be standing up and bowing down just as a ritual, but we should feel some happiness. Oh, there's Krishna. And we should be joyful upon seeing the devotees. When Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes about offending devotees as one of the offenses in chanting the holy name, that we usually say one should not blaspheme the devotees who've dedicated their lives to propagating the holy name of the Lord. Bhaktivinoda, in writing about this offense, says we should actually feel joyful upon seeing the devotees. Now that is not always so easy. Because sometimes some other devotees may have dealt with us in a way that is not pleasing to us. Isn't it? Yes? If that has not happened to you, it will. You just wait. I will give you a guarantee. That somebody else in the Hare Krishna movement, guarantee somebody in the Hare Krishna movement will deal with you in some way that you don't like. Maybe that you don't like very much. And some other devotees, it may just not be compatible, you know. They may be just a different kind of person and you're just not comfortable being with them. Maybe you're very quiet and they talk a lot. Or maybe you like to talk a lot and they don't. Or maybe you like big festivals and they're very serious. We have our different personalities. Or we may feel critical of someone. Oh, that looks like a nice devotee, but I saw him yesterday and he was doing this and this. He's a faker. In so many ways it may be difficult, but at least we can always understand here is somebody who wants to serve the Lord. We don't have to be best friends with everybody. In fact, my god sister Jamuna, she went with one other god sister, Dinatarani, And they got their own place and they were doing their own program. And some of the devotees were complaining to Prabhupada, oh, they're not staying in the temple, they have their own program. And so Yamuna went to Prabhupada and said, if you want us to, we will go someplace else. Prabhupada said, why do you always want to change? He said, you Westerners, you're so restless. You want to change. And then Yamuna said, but Prabhupada, they're saying we're not with the devotees. He said, if two are compatible, if you are two people and you are compatible, you will make all advancement, and 200 that's not compatible, nobody will make any advancement. So we do have to choose our association. We should not associate with devotees that will pull us down, even though they are devotees. We should choose compatible association. At the same time, whenever we see a devotee, we should feel joyful. Just because they are not compatible association for me, doesn't mean they're not a devotee. You understand? They're still devotee, maybe much, much more advanced devotee than me. Somehow our mood is not compatible. Okay. Hare Krishna. We are different people. Like Prabhupada said, in the country, there's different political parties. Right? In India, you have different political parties. And sometimes they are really criticizing each other, really fighting with each other. But if there is a war, they join together, they fight. And they are both working, or two or three. How many parties you have here? Hundreds of parties. Sometimes they also, everybody cares, at least in theory. All the parties, they care about the good of the country. At least that is the idea. Maybe not actually true, but that's, you understand? So many different parties, different views. Somebody wants to build a highway, somebody doesn't want to build a highway. Okay? Now in America they're fighting, should they build a wall? You know this? They want to build a wall to keep out the Mexicans and the Hondurans. Right? If they should learn from China, it doesn't work. It will just become tourist attraction, that's all. Right? China built that big wall. It didn't work. The enemies came in anyway. But so the parties are fighting, but still they both love the country. Yes? Understand? So even in our Hare Krishna movement, there will be different groups with different opinions, different points of view. Has to be. We're different individuals. Prabhupada said individual means you have a difference of opinion. But still, we should feel joy whenever we see a Vaishnava. And if not, we need to meditate on that devotee's good qualities. It doesn't mean we have to live in the same house and take prasadam with them and do our service, but we should always feel joy. Never envy, never criticism. And we are thinking, even Krishna is feeling joy upon seeing this devotee. What is wrong with me? And this is our practice for the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, there are also different groups of devotees. There are different groups of cows, different groups of cowherd boys, different groups of gopis. And they have different opinions about how to please Krishna. They do not all agree. They don't. Some of them say we want to please Krishna. Like you read in the Nectar Devotion, some of the cowherd boys, they're very joking with Krishna. They insult Krishna. And some of the cowherd boys, they're very respectful. So the respectful ones, they're thinking, how are these other cowherd boys speaking to Krishna like this? And the ones who are insulting Krishna, they're thinking, what's wrong with these boys? Don't they like to joke with Krishna? So this is natural. So how we deal with the devotees here is preparing us for the spiritual world. So many different people, different opinions, different points of view. But as long as it is within Guru Sadhu Shastra, it is all right. So we want to make Krishna happy. How can I act so that Krishna will feel joyful upon seeing me? How can I eat? How can I dress? How can I speak? How can I walk? So Krishna will say, ah, very nice. And how can I cultivate a mood of seeing joy in the other devotees? So questions, comments, additions, subtractions, chastisements? Yes?
Clarification.
Yes. Oh, after him, then we'll give you the mic. Okay?
So you are making one point that this, someone served you, which you don't like it. Sometimes we see when some guests come in a temple, we cook for them. But our intention is not for Krishna there. Our intention is to please the devotee only.
Somebody else just asked me this question the other day. They said, when I'm cooking, I'm thinking about the humans who are going to eat, the other devotees or the guests. But Krishna has his associates. But also you think Krishna eats with his associates. You've seen the paintings? Krishna's eating with the other cowherd boys. Sometimes he's eating with the gopis. Prabhupada said Krishna is never alone. When you feed Krishna, you also have to cook for his associates. When Mother Yasoda, Mother Rohini is the chief cook actually. She's in charge of the kitchen. When Mother Rohini is cooking, believe me, she is also cooking for the devotees, not only Krishna. It's not that they are cooking only for Krishna and Nanda Maharaj doesn't eat. Everyone is eating. So they also are thinking, what will everybody like? You understand? They're also thinking like that, but they are also cooking for Krishna. So it's not one or the other. It's both together.
Here, when we try to cook for some devotee, there is some question like what he likes, what he doesn't like.
But Krishna cares about what the devotee likes and what the devotee doesn't like. So our acharyas tell us that, Mother Yasoda is serving the food. And then she has to keep going back in the kitchen to get more. So when she goes into the kitchen, sometimes Krishna takes from his plate what his friends like and puts on their plate. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would do this. This is explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, that when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was serving the prasadam, he knew what each devotee liked, and he would serve each devotee what they liked. So the pure devotees also like some things and not other things. This personal taste is there among us conditioned souls. I mean, I have certain things I like mostly because of my childhood. What our parents cooked for us, do you understand? Just like my family heritage is Russian. My great-grandparents, they're from Russia. So I was recently in Mayapur teaching, and the cooks were Russian. And they said, what would you like? So I could list some Russian preparations. Immediately they knew how to cook. I said, I don't usually get these when I travel, only if there's Russian cooks. So, in this world we like things because of some conditioning, you understand? That's what my mother made, that's what my grandmother made, or something like that. But even as pure devotees, we have our personal taste. So the Lord likes to give the devotees their personal taste. So we should be trying to cook for the devotees so the Lord can give the devotees what they like. You think of it like this. I am putting these preparations on Krishna's plate, and then when I am not looking, Krishna will take off his plate and he will give to the devotees what they like. So I have to give Krishna what the devotees like to give to them. Does that make sense? Like when Prabhupada was here, he would often give out cookies. So why would he give out cookies? Because he was in the West and people eat cookies. I mean, in the beginning days of ISKCON, he would give Indian sweets. Gulab Jamun, you imagine this. You go and, you get a Gulab Jamun in your hand. But for the Westerners, that was... First of all, Gulab Jamuns were very strange. Like Jamuna wrote, when she first got a Gulab Jamun, she ate it and she thought, I will never eat here again. So for the Western audience, that was very strange. And then to have this dripping, it wasn't the culture. The Indians, they don't mind. Something's, oh, it's prasad. You know, but for the Westerners, they had no idea it's prasad. So they're just like, why is this person giving me this sticky, dripping thing? So then they started making cookies. Do you call them cookies here or biscuits? What do you call them? Cookies. American. Ah, you're using American English. So they would make cookies. Why? Because Prabhupada was in the West. So they were cooking for Prabhupada, but what Prabhupada would want to give. Just imagine if you are feeding people and there's nothing there that somebody likes, then you are feeling very bad. Right? If I have some guests come and the cooks have made something that I cannot share with my guests, I will feel very sorry. So these guests are coming to Krishna's home. If he has nothing he can share with his guests, then he will not be happy. Saying, these guests have come, you are cooking. I am wanting to distribute the prasadam and there's nothing to give them. He will not be pleased. So you can still be thinking, I'm doing this to please Krishna. Krishna will want his guests to be served according to their personal taste. Don't try to please the guests independent of Krishna. Otherwise, if you try to please the guests independent of Krishna, they may be pleased, they may not be pleased. And if they're not pleased, then you are feeling hurt. But at least you are doing your best that Krishna will be happy. And Krishna is happy with the intention. Krishna is not so concerned with the result. He's happy with the intention. If your intention was, I cook something that Krishna can give to the guests that they will like, that is first class. Is that all right? Well, he has a question also. So.
Same question.
Oh, so I haven't answered the question. Not all right.
We have answered, but somewhat clarification.
Okay, well, all right. First we'll take this gentleman, because almost 9 o'clock. Yes, sir.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I am a newcomer in this field, to be very honest with you.
Okay.
And I am a professional.
Oh, very good. What is your profession?
But I feel.
What is your profession?
I am a general manager of a company producing biscuit, cookies, cakes.
Oh.
Okay. And that is. But my question, as you say, the mood. You say mood. And here Prabhuji says that 16 times Hare Krishna. So 16 times if my mood is not allowing, maybe would Krishna allow me, okay, you do 2 to 4 times, but peacefully, with mood.
This is a very common question. People will say, is it better 2 rounds with good mood or 16 rounds with bad mood? The answer is better 16 rounds with good mood. I find it a kind of strange question, that why should chanting more put you in a bad mood? But the principle is you should fix up for chanting what you can do happily. That is the principle, nicely explained in the Nectar Devotion. So if you can happily chant 2 rounds, you do that. And then you try to increase.
Gradually.
Yeah, gradually. I mean, some people immediately, they can chant 30 rounds happy. You know, that is individual. You should do what you can do happily because it's explained in the Bhagavad Gita, if we give something in a grudging mood, I don't want to give you this. I don't want to. And someone tells us, you must give. I don't want to give. Okay, I'll give you. Immediately it goes in the mode of passion. Our charity becomes in the mode of passion. So if some superior says to us, you should do like this, and we don't want to, but because we have some obligation to the superior, we do it, that is in the mode of passion. And things done in the mode of passion, they don't give such nice results in the end. So better to avoid. But work on having the right mood. Try to cultivate a right mood, so that it is an act of will and an act of love on your part. Because there's power, because it comes from Prabhupada, 16 rounds. Therefore, that has a lot of power. That's why. If you want to know why the number 16, 4 rounds, is very, very powerful, it's because it's the instruction of Srila Prabhupada. And Krishna honors that. Prabhupada could have said 4 rounds or 12 rounds. There's not some statement in the Shastra 16. And traditionally among the Vaishnavas, each guru would fix up for each disciple some number. But Srila Prabhupada wanted to make a standard for the world. So he fixed at 16. And because he said, you chant 16 rounds, you follow these 4 principles, you will attain pure Krishna consciousness. So Krishna is honoring this. And 16 is not so much. You can chant 16 rounds, hour and a half. Not so much. In America, they say the average person, average is watching 6 hours of television, which I do not understand that. How does a person have 6 hours every day to watch television and still cook and go to work and brush their teeth? I don't understand. But most likely, 1.5 hours every day we are spending in something completely stupid and useless. Probably. But anyway, do what you can do happily. Prabhupada does say we should force the mind to think of Krishna, but do what you can do happily. If there's resentment and bitterness, that's not good. Is that all right?
That's okay. That's all right.
Does that answer your question?
My second question.
Oh, second question. But now it's after 9 and he has second question.
Okay.
But we'll try. Let's see if I can answer very fast.
Okay, I'm happy to hear your answer. I'm happy.
Are you happy? Okay. Krishna will arrange you will get an answer for your second question. He's very good like that. Krishna he answers all of our questions. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow. Do you need to ask? Tomorrow you'll ask. Okay. I'm supposed to give class again tomorrow. So then you can ask, but it's after 9. And right now everyone's big question is what's for prasadam? So tomorrow, okay? Srila Prabhupada ki jai.